and welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin enthusiast or someone who just loves discovering hidden treasures, today's video is one you'll definitely want to stick around for. We're talking about a coin that you may have seen hundreds of times, but you probably never realized could be worth so much. That's right, today's focus is on the United States 1-cent coin from 1984, and it's far from ordinary. While most people might toss it aside without a second thought, there are some things about this penny that could make it worth far more than its face value. Now, when we think about the 1-cent coin, or the penny, we typically associate it with small transactions or a few cents of change that's often left forgotten at the bottom of our pockets or in the coin jar. But did you know that certain pennies from specific years can be worth a lot of money, more than you might imagine? Well, the 1984 penny is one such example. There's more to this coin than meets the eye, and today we're going to uncover exactly what makes it so special. To start, let's take a step back and appreciate the history of this coin. The 1984 1-cent coin is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which has been a staple in American currency for decades. On the obverse, the front side, we see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a face that's been featured on the penny since 1909. On the reverse side, we have the iconic image of the Lincoln Memorial, a lasting symbol of unity and strength in American history. For most of us, this design is something we've seen countless times and have never given much thought to, but there's something about the 1984 version that has collectors buzzing. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of these pennies, some of them have unique characteristics that set them apart from the rest, making them highly valuable. These pennies may seem like just another regular coin, but in reality, they have the potential to be a collector's dream. One of the key factors that can make the 1984 penny stand out is the presence of minting errors. Minting errors are mistakes that occur during the production process, and these errors can make a coin incredibly rare and desirable. In the case of the 1984 penny, some coins were struck with off-center designs, misaligned dies, or even double strikes. These types of errors can make the coin much more valuable because they are unique. Unlike the majority of pennies, which are mass-produced with perfect strikes, error coins are one of a kind, making them especially sought after by collectors. But it's not just minting errors that make the 1984 penny special. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, without any signs of heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration, are far more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated. The 1984 penny, in particular, has a better chance of being in excellent condition because it was produced during a time when coins were still relatively new and had not yet seen years of use. A coin that's been carefully stored or kept in a protective holder stands out and is much more desirable to collectors. So, what does this all mean for the value of the 1984 penny? Well, when you combine a rare minting error with a coin that is in excellent, uncirculated condition, you have the potential for a truly valuable piece of currency. While most 1984 pennies may be worth only 1 cent, the ones with unique features, such as errors or those in pristine condition, can fetch a much higher price on the market. And here's the big reveal: a rare, error-free, or uncirculated 1984 penny could be worth up to $18,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $18,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but it's true. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprising and incredible discoveries like this. What may seem like a small, insignificant coin could actually hold incredible value, and the 1984 penny is a prime example of that. So, if you happen to find a 1984 penny in your collection or while going through your loose change, it might be time to take a closer look. Is it in great condition? Does it have any unusual features or errors? You might just have a hidden treasure on your hands, one that could make you thousands of dollars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you've learned something new about the 1984 1-cent coin and its surprising value. Top 2 1979. If you've ever come across a United States 1-cent coin from 1979, you may want to pay extra attention to this video. We're going to explore the history, design, and most importantly, the value of this seemingly modest coin. Stick around, because you'll be shocked to find out just how much this little penny could be worth today. To start, let's take a trip back to 1979. This was a year that marked significant events in U.S. history, from the election of President Jimmy Carter to the energy crisis. It was a transformative period for the country. The 1-cent coin, or penny, had already been a staple in U.S. currency for well over a century, but the 1979 version holds something special. It's not just another run-of-the-mill penny. This particular coin comes with a story of rarity and history that makes it highly sought after by collectors. As you may know, pennies from the 1970s were made from copper-plated zinc, which means they've lasted the test of time fairly well. But it's not just the materials that make the 1979 penny intriguing, it's the condition and unique features that can increase its value drastically. Let's talk about the design. The obverse side features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who has graced the penny for over a century. However, what's worth noting is that the design of Lincoln has changed very little over the years, which is part of what makes these older pennies so iconic. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the traditional image of the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of national pride and unity. This classic design is instantly recognizable, and while it's been in circulation for decades, the way a coin has aged and how well it has been preserved can make all the difference when it comes to its value. Now, let's dig into the main reason you're probably watching this video: the potential worth of the 1979 1-cent coin. While these pennies were produced in significant numbers, making them relatively common, certain factors can make some of them extremely valuable. Most of the 1979 pennies you'll find in circulation today are just worth their face value of 1 cent. However, a few special versions of the 1979 penny have emerged, and they're creating a buzz in the world of coin collecting. One of the most sought-after versions is the 1979 white AM penny. You may be asking, what does that mean? Well, it all comes down to a small design difference that occurred during the minting process. The white AM refers to the space between the A and the M in America on the reverse side of the coin. On most 1979 pennies, these letters are closely spaced, but on the rare white AM version, there is a noticeable gap between them. This small error, known as a minting variety, is what makes these coins so desirable to collectors. When it comes to coin collecting, errors are like gold. They are one-of-a-kind pieces, and finding one can increase the coin's value exponentially. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1979 white AM pennies? It's simple, just look closely at the reverse side of the coin, specifically the space between the A and M. If there's a visible gap, you might be in possession of something very special. Another version of the 1979 penny that's worth noting is the 1979 S-proof penny. This coin was minted at the San Francisco Mint and is part of a limited edition set. It features a higher quality finish, with a mirror-like shine, and was intended for collectors rather than general circulation. These proof pennies are more difficult to find in perfect condition, as they were often handled or stored improperly. A well-preserved 1979 S-proof penny can be worth considerably more than a regular circulation coin, but it's not just minting errors and proof versions that add value to the 1979 penny. The coin's condition also plays a huge role in determining its worth. Coins that have been kept in mint or near mint condition are far more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated and show significant signs of wear. A coin that has been well preserved, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, will fetch a higher price than one that's been through many years of use. Now, let's get down to the big reveal: just how much could a 1979 1-cent coin be worth? If you happen to have a 1979 white AM penny in excellent condition, or a 1979 S-proof penny, your coin could be worth a lot more than just a few cents. In fact, the rarest versions of these coins have been known to sell for as much as $20,000. That's right, $20,000 for a penny. It's incredible how something so small can hold such significant value, especially when you consider how many 1979 pennies were made and the fact that most of them are worth only 1 cent. So, if you've got a stash of old pennies lying around, it might be worth taking the time to sort through them. You never know when you might find a rare gem that could put you on the map as a serious coin collector. Before you start checking your coins, remember that condition matters. Even a 1979 white AM penny that's heavily worn won't fetch the same price as one in pristine condition. But if you've got a coin that's in near perfect or uncirculated condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Thanks for tuning in today and learning about the fascinating world of rare coins. Top 3 1989 today. We have something really exciting to talk about, one of the most intriguing pennies you might have lying around in your collection or even in your pocket change. We're diving into the United States 1-cent coin from 1989, and trust me, this penny might be worth more than you think. Stick with us as we explore the history, design, and most importantly, the value of this unique coin. You won't want to miss the big reveal at the end. Let's start by setting the stage. The year 1989 was a pivotal one for the United States. It was the final year of the 1980s, and the country was undergoing significant changes. On the global stage, the Cold War was coming to an end, and domestically, the economy was shifting. For coin collectors, 1989 marked an interesting point in the history of U.S. currency. While the 1-cent coin from 1989 may look like just another penny, it's important to note that not all pennies are created equal. First, let's talk about the design of the 1989 penny. As many of you know, the design on the obverse side of the coin features Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His image has been a staple of the penny since 1909, and it's instantly recognizable. The design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has remained largely unchanged for over a century, giving the penny a sense of tradition and continuity. On the reverse side of the coin, we see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which has been featured on the penny since 1959. The Lincoln Memorial is a symbol of American pride and history, and it adds a layer of significance to every penny from this era. But here's where it gets interesting. While most 1989 pennies you'll find are still just worth their face value, 1 cent, there's a catch. Some of these pennies have unique characteristics or features that can make them much more valuable than you might expect. This is what makes the 1989 penny so exciting for collectors. The first factor to consider is the coin's condition. As with any coin, the better its condition, the more valuable it is. A coin that's been circulating in everyday transactions for decades is likely to show wear and tear. The more scuff marks, discoloration, or signs of handling, the lower the value. But if you happen to have a 1989 penny that's been carefully stored or has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, you've got something special. A penny in mint condition will always fetch a higher price, but there's more. In the world of coin collecting, even the smallest variations can make a huge difference in value. While the 1989 penny design is relatively straightforward, there are certain minting errors that make some coins highly sought after. One of the most interesting errors in the 1989 penny series involves the close AM versus wide AM design. These two types of pennies are separated by a small detail, the spacing between the A and the M in America on the reverse side. For most 1989 pennies, the A and M are very close together. However, a rare minting error resulted in a small number of pennies where the A and M were spaced further apart. This subtle difference is what collectors call the wide AM variety, and it's a prized find. Coins with this error are highly valued because they are much rarer than the standard close AM coins. If you happen to come across one of these rare varieties, it could dramatically increase the value of your penny. Now, let's talk about the overall rarity of the 1989 penny. Unlike some older coins from the early 20th century, the 1989 penny was produced in large quantities. This means that, in general, 1989 pennies aren't exactly rare. However, the value of a 1989 penny comes down to condition and error varieties. As I mentioned earlier, the wide AM variety is much less common, and if you have one of these in top-notch condition, you're looking at something that could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So, what's the big reveal? How much could a 1989 penny be worth? Well, if you have a 1989 white AM penny in mint condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. A coin like this could fetch $17,000. That's right, $17,000 for a single penny. It's absolutely mind-blowing how a small difference in design and a coin's condition can make such a significant impact on its value. Of course, the coin needs to be in exceptional condition, with little to no signs of wear, to reach this kind of value, but the possibility is certainly out there. And now, you may be wondering, how can I tell if my 1989 penny is a white AM? It's simple, just take a close look at the space between the A and M on the reverse side of the coin. If there's a noticeable gap between the letters, you may have a valuable coin on your hands. But remember, condition is key. A well-preserved coin will always be worth more, so handle it with care and store it properly. Before we wrap up, let me give you a quick tip: always check the condition of your coins before you get rid of them. Even pennies from the 1980s can hold significant value if you take the time to examine them closely. You might just have a rare and valuable coin hiding in plain sight. That's it for today's video. I hope you've learned something new about the 1989 1-cent coin and its potential value. Top 4 1981. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that's often overlooked, but with the right condition and a few special features, it could be worth a small fortune. Yes, we're diving into the United States 1-cent coin from 1981. This penny, which most people would think is just a common piece of currency, might have a surprising value that could leave you stunned. Make sure you stick around till the end because we'll be revealing just how much this little coin could be worth. Let's start with a little bit of background. The 1981 penny, like many other coins, features the classic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This design has been in use for over a century, making it one of the most iconic images in American numismatics. But what makes the 1981 version particularly interesting isn't just the design, it's the history behind it and the subtle details that could make this penny worth much more than just 1 cent. The 1981 penny was minted during a time when the US was in the midst of significant changes. The country was dealing with economic struggles like inflation and the aftermath of the energy crisis, yet the coin itself, though still circulated in large quantities, holds a few surprises for those who are paying attention. With the advancements in technology at the time, the US Mint was able to produce pennies with more precision than ever before, but it's those very small differences that would appear over time that would end up making certain versions of the 1981 penny incredibly valuable. When we look at the design of the penny, the obverse, or front side, features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This image, created by Victor David Brenner, has become a staple of American currency. In the background, you'll see the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year the coin was minted, which in this case is 1981. On the reverse side of the penny, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's history and ideals. While the general design remains consistent, the true value of the 1981 penny comes down to a few key factors. The first and most important factor is the coin's condition. You see, while most pennies from 1981 are common and widely circulated, the coins that were carefully stored and preserved have a much higher value. Coins that are in excellent, uncirculated condition, meaning they haven't been damaged or worn down through years of circulation, can be worth much more than face value. In fact, pennies in near-mint condition are highly prized by collectors because they stand out in a way that coins that have been through heavy use simply don't. But it's not just about condition. Another important factor that can drive up the value of the 1981 penny is something known as minting errors. These errors occur when the coin-making process doesn't go quite as planned, creating small variations in the design. And it's these errors that can lead to some coins being worth far more than others. The 1981 penny is a perfect example of how a tiny mistake in the minting process can turn an otherwise common coin into a highly valuable collector's item. One of the most sought-after varieties of the 1981 penny is the 1981 copper penny. You might be asking, what's so special about this one? Well, here's the catch. In 1981, the US Mint actually experimented with different materials for coin production. While most pennies in 1981 were minted with copper-plated zinc, there are a few rare examples of pennies that were made with pure copper instead. These copper pennies were accidentally released into circulation, and they're now incredibly valuable. The difference in metal composition might seem minor, but it makes all the difference when it comes to collectors who are looking for this specific variety. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1981 copper pennies? It's actually not too difficult. Pure copper pennies have a noticeably different weight and color compared to their copper-plated counterparts. If you have a penny that feels a bit heavier or has a distinct reddish hue, you might be in possession of one of these rare copper pennies, but that's not all. Another key factor that can affect the value of your 1981 penny is whether or not it has been graded by a professional coin grading service. Coins that have been graded and certified by services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, are far more valuable than those that have not. These grading services assign a grade based on the coin's condition, which can significantly influence its market value. A coin in mint state, or uncirculated condition, will fetch much higher prices than one with signs of wear. Now, I know you're all waiting for the big reveal. You're probably wondering just how much a 1981 penny could be worth. Well, let's get straight to it. If you happen to have one of the rare copper pennies from 1981 in excellent, uncirculated condition, or if your penny has a minting error that makes it a true one-of-a-kind piece, you could be looking at a value of up to $19,000. Yes, that's right, $19,000 for a single penny. It's incredible how something so small can hold such immense value, especially when you consider how many pennies from 1981 were minted and how few of them are still in pristine condition today. It just goes to show that with a little knowledge and a keen eye, you can turn what seems like just a common coin into a rare treasure. So, if you've got a jar of old pennies or if you're sorting through your collection, make sure to check the condition and look out for any unique features that could make your 1981 penny more valuable. Who knows, you might just be sitting on a small fortune.